What's up, guys? Jason Stewart here, CEO and founder of Epic Fighting, here with Jorden Christopher, who has a crazy reach, I noticed as you walked in. So he's about an inch taller than me. And so for those of you who don't know, the average person, their arm span from finger to finger is about the same as their height. Yours is like a foot longer than your height. You got like an 80-something inch reach or something. Now, what's crazy is we haven't got to see you strike much because you came in, you were the underdog against Kyle, and you tapped him out in 12 seconds.
Yeah.
You just got him in that guillotine. I think you had it this way instead of this way.
High elbow.
You did that. Yeah, you did that bam, bam. That's what I do. And so you tapped him out in 12 seconds. It's like he didn't even get to display his stuff. You didn't even get to display your stuff. All we knew is you had a wicked guillotine. But how is Coach Aaron not I hit the jackpot and having you do like 2,000 jabs a day?
I do nothing but straights, man. I barely even practice my hooks. I'm a straight puncher 100%.
Oh my gosh. I mean, for those of you who don't know, because MMA gyms are a little bit different than boxing gyms. I remember my first, not only day, but like almost week, but my first day of boxing, my dad took me to Spud Murphy's boxing gym. It was like the real underground boxing gym in San Diego. That's where they like made champs. It was like coaches who went back and had a plethora of stars that they trained. And it was literally step and jab, step and jab, step and jab, all the way across the floor. When you get to the end, jab straight, hook, duck under, and go back the other way, jab. And I remember doing like, this math ain't adding up. This arm's getting sore. This arm's doing nothing. Yeah. I went back the next day. This shoulder was burning. I was just like, and the next day it's like, we're doing more jabs. Like, and I was into working out where everything has to be even. You don't want to get like imbalances and stuff like that.
I trained with Coach Eric, Dominic Cruz's coach. And I do a few practices with him a couple days throughout the month. And almost every time I train with him, he's like 1-2. He just has me stand on a straight line, just throw 1-2s the whole time.
Because if you can get that distance and that range when you have that much of a reach advantage, and it's crazy because it doesn't always happen. You see a lot of people with long reach that love inside fighting. They love being like forehead to forehead and doing everything on the inside. And it's like, it's good to be good at that.
Yeah.
But also, you end up with like a Mike Tyson across from you. Yeah. You better hope you got that range down, the timing and the distance down.
That's a big part of my training just because, I fight at 155. That's the weight I plan to fight at throughout my entire career, at least most of my career. And so I'm going to be taller than 90% of my opponents. I'm going to have the range on almost everybody just because my arms are naturally so long.
But you're saying that you started everything about the same time, but you seem to be excelling faster for whatever reason in jiu-jitsu and wrestling. Why do you think that is?
Well, it was more like the jiu-jitsu and wrestling just came a lot more natural to me when I started training, especially just the physics of it, because I've always just been really good at math just all throughout.
You're a math guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just the physics of wrestling, the pinning somebody down, the grabbing the arm, all that stuff just came a lot more natural than, throwing a roundhouse kick, or I could still barely throw a question mark kick, So, but my Muay Thai has improved so much these past couple of years, training with Mike Lamar, Aaron Pete, all those guys. My Muay Thai and that's what I'm hoping to debut on this fight. Because my last fight, I got that 58-second TKO, but no disrespect to my opponent, but he wasn't ready for that matchup. He couldn't.
Who is ready to match up against you?
I don't know, man. I don't know anything about the guy I'm fighting. I know that he has a 28-second knockout. I know that was about a year ago, but that's it. I found like a little clip of it, but I don't really know much about the guy. I'm hoping that he's in this 100% because I am, and I'm using you guys as promotion to really build myself up and build my experience up. So I'm hoping he's ready to come out here and give me a good fight.
Is there anyone that you've seen that you would like to go up against because you feel like they'd be a good challenge to you?
I can't remember his name. There was one guy that I seen that was in the lightweight division that I think he was ranked like number 10 in on the Tapology page or something. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I was trying to see if I can get matched up with him, but he ended up pulling off the card. And
so Kyle and Alan were supposed to fight. You already tapped Kyle out.
Yeah.
They were talking a lot of crap to each other. If Alan were to cut down to 155, how do you think that would be a good fight for you?
Oh, I think that'd be a really fun fight. And I think Alan would actually do pretty good at 155 just because of his size and the way he fights and stuff. I think he'd actually do great at 155. And I think Alan is actually one of the few people that I see because I've watched every single video you guys have put on YouTube. I've watched all y'all's fights, I see a lot of guys that are just doing this for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Very few of these guys are really trying to make it to that next level. And Alan's one of those guys that I really think is trying to make it to that next level. So I think a matchup with Alan would be fun for both of us and a fucking great experience for everybody.
Well, I would love to see it. I would be blessed if that is made possible for sure. So speaking of like you're into math, we were talking on the last interview that the people who are really good at fighting are often not the alpha guys with the big muscles and the big and all the tattoos and all that type of stuff. It's a lot of times like the guys like I tell him, like, if it's a big buff dude at the gym, like, rarely poses a problem for me. It's the skinny little, brown belt who can like completely contort his body, and it's just like, whoa, I like nothing works on this guy, And so some of these guys are like really nerdy. They're like, in the sense of like they're really into Star Wars or to this or to that. They're really into physics. They're really into math. Neil deGrasse Tyson, who everyone knows is this famous astrophysicist, like the epitome of nerd.
Yeah.
He was an undefeated wrestler.
Yeah.
Not only throughout college, but throughout high school.
Yeah.
Throughout high school and college, undefeated. And he said, it was easy. When I looked at wrestling, I just thought physics, and I loved physics. And every move was just a different physics equation.
Oh, my favorite guys to match up with, like on sparring days, whenever I'm doing jiu-jitsu rolls, are the big buff guys.
Yeah.
Give them that ego check real quick.
Yeah.
There's guys at my gym, especially in the jiu-jitsu room. I wish I could remember this kid's name, but I call him a kid. He's probably older than me, but he's just real small, real skinny, mousy. Doesn't look like he'd be any harm. Real nice, real soft-spoken. Every time I roll with this dude, it's like having a freaking anaconda wrap around me, choking me out and stuff.
They get you stuff. Yeah, there was this guy, brown belt, or maybe even a purple belt.
Yeah.
But it's like I went to one of the classes, and I don't go very often, and so I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen you up there a few times.
Yeah. I finally showed up, and kind of went through the class and did well against everyone, got my submission, and got to this guy and like had a whole lot of trouble with him. And my partner who took me over there, he was just like, were you really trying with that kid? And I'm like, absolutely. Because he saw me not struggle with so many people and then really struggle with him. Yeah. But his style and his flexibility and everything. So you also train dogs. So you say that like pretty much you got half your time training dogs and half your time training martial arts, and that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much my life.
Have you ever had to use your martial arts skills on an animal?
Yeah, I mean, a big part of what I do, I like to take the really aggressive dogs, the dogs that are on the verge of being put down, and I turn them into pets. That's my specialty. I don't train schützing dogs. I don't train police dogs. I train a dog to be a pet.
Wow.
And I specialize in taking the aggressive dogs. And my last boot camp, for instance, was this dog named Monty. One of the few dogs that I've trained that I wanted to keep. This dog was fucking gorgeous. It was a 100-pound pit bull.
Dang.
Just swole. And he was only 2 years old. He was a puppy, but he had some aggression issues, mostly trying to protect his owners and stuff.
Yeah.
So he had to come stay with me for a few weeks. And he tried to defend me from another dog and showed teeth to another dog. So I had to pin him down on the ground real quick, use some jiu-jitsu, just wrap him up, just pretty much hold him there until he was like, just gave up on everything. And then that was the only time you really have to do stuff like that is with those really aggressive dogs, and you only have to do it once. Like you pin a dog on the ground,
then they know who's
they
boss. Realize
that they can't do anything. They're like, all right, you're cool. Okay.
So did it become a pet? I mean, is it?
Oh yeah, he's back with his owner. See, they actually just came. I teach a dog training class all over San Diego. Actually, the company I work with, the Pet Whisperers, we do a different location every week. We're actually doing one this weekend at Bates Scary Farm, Bates Nut Farm up in Escondido. Right. They got the pumpkin patch and stuff. But I teach
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I love learning the background lives of fighters. It's never what you think, I mean, you had told me that you worked with dogs in the last interview, but this is really interesting. Well,
since then, I've actually advanced a lot more in just the training aspect. Last time I would talk to you, it was about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
It was one of the first fights I had with you guys.
Yeah.
And I was still just barely becoming the actual trainer. I was just getting past the walker stage, the taking care of the house stage, the taking care of the dog stage. And now that I'm actually at the peak trainer, I'm one of the top trainers here in San Diego. And like I said, I teach classes 2 days a week.
So you literally take dogs who are about to get put down.
Yeah, I mean, it's not every dog
they could potentially bite someone. They're a risk.
I'm one of the few trainers that will take those dogs. It's never the dog that I'm worried about. It's always the owners. Mm-hmm. If I don't feel like the owners are going to be up to the training, then I won't take the dog. Because, you have to look at the longevity of these things.
Right.
My last dog, Monty, his owners really loved him. They're really good people, really, really good dog owners.
Yeah.
And it was just a pit bull that looked scary. It scared everybody that looked at it, and then just kind of became protective. But I love taking those dogs that are said to be towards the end of their span. Like we have a dog because our property where we train the dogs is up in Escondido. It's a house on 3 acres.
Yeah.
And we have a cattle dog there named Gambit. And we rescued Gambit from the Humane Society, and he was about to be put down because he was extremely aggressive. He was biting the cage. That was the only pictures they could get of him, was him biting the cage. They couldn't even feed him or anything. And he's been with us for about almost 5 years now. And he's one of the best dogs you could ever ask for. He patrols the property, keeps out for coyotes. We have llamas on the property. He watches out for the llamas. He protects the chickens.
I bet there's an analogy there for humans that we could make, but that is super interesting. I'm excited to see you in your fight. How do you predict the ending of your fight?
Dude, haven't been out of the first round yet, so I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna be out of the first round this fight.
He's hoping someone could get him out of the first round.
And I was really hoping, like, I was slightly disappointed with this matchup because the kid wanted to wear fucking shin pads and do 2-minute rounds, and I was hoping to be kind of past that.
Yeah.
I haven't fought with shin pads on since like my first fight with you guys.
Yeah.
And so I'm a little disappointed for the shorter rounds and the shin pads are blah, blah, blah. But, the
At
kid.
the end of the day, if you tap him out, you tap him out. If you knock him out,
he says he's a yellow belt in karate, whatever the fuck that means. So hopefully he likes to go in there and bang. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Okay. Well, we'll see you there. Guys, if you haven't seen his fights, you definitely want to be there November 10th, Epic Fighting. All the tickets and information are at epicfighting.com. If you haven't been to one of our events, it's live, it's crazy, it's outrageous, and we hope to see you there soon.
Gotta say, man, I went as a fan one time. Best fucking experience I had at a show.
Really?
Yeah, I went and watched Jonathan fight for that title.
Oh.